Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, what's up? My name is vianney.strick. Thank you so much for being here. As you can see by the title, today I'm going to be showing you guys my updated go-to makeup look. Now, this isn't like a natural, quick, everyday makeup look. Like, this is my go-to glam for anything. It never does me wrong. It photographs well, it wears well, and it looks beautiful in person as well. So I'm excited to show you guys with all my holy grail products. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join my squad. Let's get into it. I love filming this video. I do update it maybe like once a year because I get a lot of questions for just like what my go-to products are, my go-to look, how do I do it, and obviously like this can get very glam, but you can stop and not do all the steps, but I just kind of want to show you guys like overall what I do. I don't want this video to be too long, so let's get started. A little Diet Coke action. By the way, I will link all the previous go-to makeup looks that are still great looks with great products down below. So I already have my skincare on, I already have my sunscreen on, and you guys know I love using the Glow Recipe Watermelon Dewdrops as a primer just to add like glow and hydration, but I also do have a new favorite primer that's better for longevity. For primer, we'll be using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. They do have two versions. There's this one with niacinamide and the blue one is just regular. To be honest, they both work the same for me, so either way, they're really good. So this is a gripping primer, so this is going to make your face pretty sticky, and it's going to make your makeup adhere to your skin. I like it because this is one of the only like primer options that are there for like longevity that are not drying. Sometimes I feel like longevity mattifies and dries out the skin, but this one actually adds like hydration, it adds a really nice glow, and it makes your makeup last all day long. It has like a very glue-like consistency, so to be honest, like rubbing it in doesn't do it for me. I like to pat it in everywhere, and then you kind of let it dry just for like 10 seconds, and then you go in with your foundation. And while I let that dry, I want to add my lip plumper. My lip plumper is still the same. My favorite is the Gerard Cosmetics Grande Lips. I really like the clear one, and I just love to put a hydrating lip plumper at the beginning of my makeup so that my lips are nice and plump and hydrated by the end. So now the skin is very sticky. You see that? If you guys watch my channel a lot, these products are not going to be like a surprise to you. These are truly my holy grails. My favorite foundation at the moment that has been my favorite for a while now since it came out is this one. This is the Haus Labs foundation. I like to use the shade 260. Oh my god, my cats are fighting in the back. Sorry about that. I only use one pump of this. It doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, this is all you need. I like to rub it into my fingers and rub it on my skin with my fingers first, because your fingers are not, your fingers are not going to soak up any product. So this is the best way. So this is the best way to like blend it out without losing any product, and then the rest I blend with a brush. Now I do have normal to dry skin, and this foundation is perfect for that. This foundation looks so pretty in pictures and videos, but also in person. So I'm just blending this out with a BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A507. And then lastly, I do like to just finish off the blending with a damp sponge. I will link all these products down below. This is the AOA Studio Paw Paw sponge, and they're my favorite, and they're super affordable. For cream bronzer, I still have the same favorite as the last video. It is the LYS bronzer stick. I use the shade Harmony. This never lets me down. It is so creamy, so pigmented, so blendable, and literally a little bit goes such a long way. And so I'm going to first do some cream bronzing with this, and this is a BK Beauty 111. The reason why I love using creams first is because you can get a lot of the pigment of makeup on your skin without layering a bunch of like powder bronzer. So I still go in with powder bronzer, but I don't have to do a thick layer anymore. But this also helps with longevity, because if for some reason your powder bronzer fades, you will always have this base of cream bronzer. So for concealer, my favorite for years has been the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I do have a new favorite that I like just as much, and that is this new one from Urban Decay. It's the Urban Decay Naked Quickie Concealer. It's just like the Too Faced one. It's very high coverage, but it's not drying. A little bit goes a long way. It's really, really pretty. I will add a different concealer on top though, because this one's in the shade 50WY, which works great, but it's a little bit dark. So I'm just gonna add a different concealer just to lighten it up a little bit. But you do not need like 2 concealers. I'm gonna use the Revolution IRL Finish Concealer in the shade C6 just for a little brightness. But like I said, this is definitely not necessary. I really like doing the concealer after the cream bronzer because that way you can kind of clean up the bronzer if you need to. And then I'm gonna grab whatever I have left on the sponge and use it as my eyeshadow primer so that my eyeshadow goes really nice on top, and it's also gonna conceal any discoloration. If you have issues with eyeshadow not staying on, or if you have oily eyelids, definitely use an eyeshadow primer that works with your skin type. But for me, concealer works perfectly fine. To be honest, if you guys watch my channel, I wear a lot of different types of blushes. So I don't have like a holy grail. I just love a lot of blush, which I will be doing today because this is my go-to look. Today we're gonna be using the SHEGLAM Color Bloom Liquid Blush in the shade Swipe Right. This is super affordable, but just going with your favorite cream or liquid blush. And I like to put it in the high points. I prefer to blend like bronzer and blush with a brush because that way you can be a lot more like strategic with where you place it. And then whatever I have left on the brush, I like to put in the tip of my nose. And I know that this looks crazy, but that's why we haven't set the face. So with whatever you have left on the sponge, just kind of blend the concealer and the blush together and you're good to go. My favorite setting powder at the moment is pretty pricey. I do have a dupe for you guys. So I love using this dirty Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. As you guys can see, I love it. I have the shade 2 Medium. If you need something extremely similar, I'm sorry this is broken, but it is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Powder. I really like this one as well, and this was in the shade Medium 4. I go back to the concealer and really any creases that we might have, so that we're not setting it with powder. And I do like to use a powder puff. These are so cheap. You can get them on Amazon. I'll link them down below. I'm just gonna grab some powder. I like to tap the excess on the back of my hand and just here where the pores are. And see how flawless and airbrushed it looks? Literally flawless airbrush. But like I said, use whatever powder you prefer. But this is really good for dry under eyes and very, very blurring. Now, I would use this whole powder to set my face, but it is pretty pricey, so I kind of just leave it for like the center of my face and use a different powder for the rest of my face, to be honest, if we're being honest here. I love the number 7 Lift and Illuminate powder to set the rest of my face. I don't love it for under my eyes because I feel like it darkens my eyes, but it is the most blurring powder and it's perfect for dry skin. This is the old packaging though. I believe that they did reformulate. So with a fluffy brush, I'm just going to tap on the rest of my face. And like I said, even though I have drier skin, this powder does not dry out the skin. And by the way, this is a Profusion large flat powder brush in PD6. All right, and now we are airbrushed. So next let's go in with some powder bronzer. Now I have 2 favorite powder bronzers at the moment. This one is the Gerard Cosmetics bronzer in the shade Almond. Really, really nice buttery matte formula, and then the L'Oreal Infallible 24/7 Fresh Wear Bronzer in the shade 400 Tan. Also just as nice, very beautiful buttery matte. Let's use this one just because it's affordable and it's easy to get. This is the BK 107, and because we already have this cream bronzer, now you really don't have to add that much. So I'm literally just going to add bronzer everywhere we put the cream bronzer. But see how now it's like the bronzer is nice and built up with only a small layer. Firstly, I like to tap in my bronzer. Swiping is fine, but tapping it in really like locks it in, which is why I like it. Moving on, we have powder blush. I've been really liking this one, which it already rubbed off. It's really affordable. It's the Essence Pure Nude blush, and this is in the shade Rosy Rosewood, and it's like a baked formula. So I'm just gonna grab this on a flat brush and tap it on the cheeks, and this will give us just the most beautiful flush of color, and a little bit on the nose. And then I like to bring the blush up a little bit, only on the outer corner, under eye, so that it has like a more like smooth transition from concealer to blush. Now I like to move on to eyebrows because you guys know I'm kind of messy with everything, and so I don't like to have to avoid my eyebrows. So now I'll do them now that I'm done. So for brows, all I really use is a powder, a gel, and then a little pen. When it comes to powder, any brow powder works, to be honest, for me personally, even if it's just like an eyeshadow. If you're looking for a good little powder brow duo, I've been really liking the Rare Beauty one. I have this shade Auburn, and I really like this because it does come with a mirror. It comes with 2 shades of the powder, and it also comes back here with a little brush as well as this pulley. So, like I said, you definitely don't need that. Really anything works, but I do really like how handy this product is. I'll use the darker one on the outer corner and then the lighter one in the inner corner. And I know brows are like super personal, but if you ever wonder how I do my brows, this is how. If you're looking for a tinted brow gel that also thickens your brows, that has fibers, that stays on all day, this is my favorite. It's the NYX Thick It Stick It. It's super nice. It's like my go-to for every day. But when I'm doing glam and I want my brows to stay up all day, I do, just drop that, I like to use this. This, as most of you guys know, is a hair gel. It's the Got To Be Glued Styling Spiking Glue. I've had this for like over a year now, and this is the travel size. If you want your brows to stay on all day and not move and be really hard, then get this. If you're not up for that, then this is not the one for you. I just grab a spoolie. You really don't need much, and you don't want to overdo it either because this is already like very potent. Literally, that's about all I do. And I just put my brows in place. The trick with this brow gel is to just put your brows in place and then leave it and let it dry. If you mess with it for like way too long, you will start getting like white residue. So, you know, just don't take forever with it. But this brow gel, like, it's literally the best. So that is what that looks like. See the difference? So I'm going to do the same on the other eye. So for eyeshadow, my go-to eyeshadow look is super easy to recreate. You could probably do it with any products that you have. First, I like to go in with whatever bronzer I'm wearing. So I'll go in with this one. Just grab a big fluffy brush. This is my favorite. It's the Laura Lee Los Angeles L36. It's the biggest fluffy brush ever. But I just like to start out with like a base. So I'll just put that like on my crease, just windshield wiper motion, and then whatever's left, I like to do kind of this just so that it like kind of wings out the eye a little bit. It's like super subtle, but it's what I like to do. And then I do take a smaller brush and just kind of pack it on the lower lash line as well. And having smokier lower lash line will not only make your eyes look bigger, but will also hide any like lines that you might have under your eyes, and it hides any like concealer creasing, so we love that. You could just leave it at that. But let me show you guys the look that I always do. Again, you don't need exactly what I have. All I use is like some matte brown shades. I did recently pick up the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette because it's literally everything that I need and more. So that's how I justified the price for this. But again, if you have these shades, which you probably do, you can easily recreate this. So I'll just go in with like a smaller fluffy brush and grab a shade like this, just another matte brown shade, maybe a little bit deeper than your bronzer. And I'm going to start building it up on the outer corner of the lid and up to the crease. And whatever is left, I also just bring a little bit to the crease. All we're going to do is a matte eyeshadow look that's going to really like open up our eyes, but also make them smoky at the same time, which is my favorite. And then I'll go in with another darker matte brown shade. So let's go in with this one, and we're just going to do the exact same thing. I'm just adding different layers to have more dimension, and then flick it out. By the way, this shade I am bringing like halfway to the lid. The darkest shade, which we could use something like this, I'm going to grab a smaller brush. This is the brush that I use under my lash line, and this I will definitely keep more on the outer corner, and I'm just going to add it almost like at an angle. This is not necessary, but it's gonna add just a little bit of like a shadow that goes up, which will also lift the eye. While we're here with this smaller brush, just grab the first shade and add it to the whole lower lash line, again, just to make it smoky. And then grab the darkest shade and just put it on the outer corner, just to match the top. Now comes the fun part. We're gonna grab a flat brush. This is an Alter Ego 6, and literally whichever shade you want. Just use a matte cream, matte white shade. I'll use this one first. And now we're just going to pack it on the lid. So we're gonna do it in the inner corner and bring it up. This is what's gonna make our eyes look super big and awake while also having a smoky eye at the same time. So we're only bringing this halfway on the lid. You don't have to be precise with it because we just clean it up with this shade. It's actually very similar to my wedding day makeup. I have no excess product, and I'm just going to blend the two shades together. Normally I just leave it like this. This is a look that is so universal, it's gonna look super flattering. If you wanna amp it up a little bit, what I do is add just a little bit of sparkle. My favorite sparkle is the Urban Decay Naked Cowboy like little eyeshadow. Today I'm gonna use an affordable alternative, which is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow and Ultra Glitter in the shade Ritz. And all you have to do is put it on your finger, and I just tap it on, and this is gonna be like the most natural type of like glitter, but I love it because it just adds like some light to your eyes, especially like when it hits the light. Completely unnecessary, but if you wanna amp up this look for like a nighttime, this is how you do it. All right, so now that we're done with that, I'm gonna tightline with some eyeliner. I love to tightline because I don't like how my eyeline looks bare, and it's also going to make your eyelashes look a lot thicker. And so this is the LA Girl Shockwave eyeliner, and it's super creamy, and all you do is apply it to your upper waterline. I'm gonna keep it only in the outer corner. See how it just makes your lash line just look a little bit thicker. It's the best. So I have to wear a winged liner. I'm back on my winged liner game. So many good ones out there. I really like the Rare Beauty liquid liner. I love the Wet n Wild breakup proof liner. That liner's like $3. Today I'll be using a brand new one that I also really like. This is the Urban Decay 24 inks in the shade 0, and I'm just gonna do a winged eyeliner. So whatever eyeliner works for you, but I just love a good wing. Okay, so let's finish off the brows now that that brow glue has dried up. My favorite like brow product is the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. I like to use the shade Espresso, and this is just like the best brow marker. So now we're just gonna fill in any extra gaps, and they're gonna look like hairs. So I'm going to add a little bit on the outer corner. And if you like mess up by any means, just grab your spoolie and you can just kind of brush it, and it just looks so natural. I love it. So I'm gonna do this on the other brow as well. To finish out the eyes, I am the type of girl that no matter what I'm doing, I have to have a super bright inner corner highlight. It's like my thing, you know? I like to do cream and powder again, just so that it lasts. These are my favorite little cream inner corner highlights. They are exactly the same, literally, and they're both affordable. So we have the e.l.f. No Budge Stick shadow in the shade Perfect Pearl. And then we also have the Hard Candy, also shadow stick in the shade Bubbly. Again, literally same thing, so whichever one you find. The Hard Candy is a newer product, so let's just go ahead and use it. So all you do is put it in your inner corner highlight, and to be honest, like, you could just leave it at that. But you guys know I love a really bright inner corner highlight. So I love going in with the Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Exhilarate. I use this way too much. It literally looks so crusty and dusty. And I'm going to go in with this little Persona Cosmetics brush. I'm going to grab the smaller end and really pack it on like this. And then with the fluffy one, I'll just kind of blend it out a little bit up and down so it's not like too harsh, but I love that. All right, so let's curl our lashes. This is the Kevyn Aucoin eyelash curler. I'm going to make sure my eyelashes are very, very curly, and then we'll go in with some mascara. My current favorite mascaras are both from the drugstore. It's the Milani Anti-Gravity Mascara, as well as the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift. This is like good for everything, length, curl separation, volume. This is for a lot of volume. Sometimes I just use them both. So I'm going to go ahead and do some mascara. So we're going to do 2 layers on each lash. Today I'm not going to be wearing any fake lashes, so I'm just going to really double up on the mascara. By the way, I only used this mascara. I didn't want to double up on both of them. So we're pretty much almost done. Let me quickly say my favorite setting sprays from the drugstore are the e.l.f. Stay All Night Micro Setting Mist. This is like a super lightweight setting spray that will help your makeup last longer. And then the Revolution Super Fix Super Hold Misting Spray is also going to make your makeup last longer, just a little bit more aggressive, might be a little drying, but this is like the way to go for like longevity. My favorite setting spray of all time though is high-end, so let me show it to you guys. I cannot find the full size right now, but the Milk Hydro Setting Spray. If you have dry skin, this will save you from the powder, or even if you have oily skin, like this is just the best because it makes your makeup last all day, but it also adds hydration back in. So I'm going to go ahead and spray that, and your makeup will not go anywhere. You can also use it in between your makeup steps. You can use it as primer. I freaking love this. And I do like to let it dry, and like I said, it will bring your face back to life, especially if you used a lot of powders. So I do like to go back in with a powder. I'll just grab my powder puff and the Charlotte Tilbury, and I will just put a little bit of powder in the areas that I don't want with life. So obviously, like when you set your face, it kind of makes your pores come back. So I'll just kind of set wherever I don't want to be shiny. And by the way, I don't really wear highlighter anymore. I just prefer something a little bit more diffused. But to add a little bit of glow, I'll just use like a glowy blush. So I've been loving the Almay Healthy Hue blush in the shade Berry, Wild Berry. And I'll just grab this with like a fluffy brush. And again, this is a little bit on the glowy side. So I'll add it as like a little bit of a blush topper. And that gives me just the perfect amount of glow. I just don't love adding highlighter to my face anymore. So with that setting spray and that blush, the glow is on the skin, but it just looks really, really pretty. My favorite lip liner at the moment that lasts a really long time is the Refi Lip Sculpt. I have the shade Fawn. This lip liner does not go anywhere, and it also comes with a setter. So I love using this under gloss, and this doesn't move. But my favorite, like, just lip product that I haven't stopped wearing is actually the NYX Shine Loud. I know these went viral a while ago, but they're truly the best. So I love the shade Magic Maker. All my friends have been wearing this lipstick because you don't have to reapply and you don't even need a lip liner. So I'm going to take off the gloss that plumped my lips and hydrated them. And I'm going to go ahead and overline with this. Like, you really don't even need a lip liner. The cool thing is that the applicator is like pointed, so you can overline with this. And now the trick is to let it dry. Once it fully dries, it's going to feel very drying and sticky, and then once it dries, then you apply this. So I really quickly, like, you know, rub my lips together just to get it even, but after that, don't rub your lips together anymore. I'm going to let this set for a sec while I shush my hair, and I'll be right back, and we'll be done with this makeup look. Okay, so now it's dry. If you do want to add a lip liner, I suggest adding it on top so that the longevity of the lip product on your lips stays. But you can add a little bit of like dimension with your lip liner after. And then you add your gloss, and it doesn't move like all day. All you have to do is like reapply the gloss throughout the day. And it's so pretty. Okay guys, and this is how I get my go-to glam. This makeup looks great in flash photography, regular photography, video, and most importantly, in real life. It really does look like skin. It looks flawless. It lasts all day, and it's just my go-to. So I hope that you guys like the look. I hope you recreate it. And just remember that you don't need all the products that I use. If you do want to buy some, I will put them down below. But just try to recreate it. I really do think this makeup look will look good on everyone. It's super universal. So I hope that this video was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys have any questions below. I love you so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!